Israel and the region are filled with archaeological sites. But what happens to antiquities found in inaccessible places or construction sites? One solution to this dilemma can be found here in the Road of the Millennia Park in Haifa.
It was established in the early 1980s by Dr. Reuven Hecht. The idea was to bring the remains of authentic structures which were found mostly in the Negev mountain area, in a place called Ramat Matred.
Most of the findings here are linked to the late Bronze and early Iron Ages and associated with the Canaanite and Israelite cultures. It's a wonderful opportunity for a glimpse into a life that existed during the 10th century BCE and even before that.
One of the most interesting sites which was relocated to the Road of Millennia is the Four Wings House, also known as the Israelite House. It's typical to the Iron Age 3,000 years ago, but we can also see it at the late Canaanite period. It's split into 4 spaces, the main hall which doesn't have a roof. All the light and the air is coming into the house from here. The whole concept of windows is actually much later in history. Another room is used as a living room. Another room is used for housecraft, and another room is the kitchen and to store food.
Another example, these granaries for storing crops from an Israelite fortress in the Israelite period from 700 to 800 BCE. Impressive structures which show us how tribes were able to store their food in the desert in ancient times.
It's interesting to see the size of these granaries, which apparently were used to supply food for a big base of soldiers in the area. It's also interesting to think that this area of the Negev desert was very dry, around 100 millimeters of rain every year.
The site also shows us the transition of cultures in the Holy Land and the evolution of architecture. While the house we saw before depicts a typical house design shaped like a square, these remains from the Canaanite era show us a round complex instead.
We are talking about a main hall, a round one. Around it, there are several rooms. Again, some were used for the different houseworks. And it is also fascinating to see here 2 tombs inside the house.
Some may see it as postmodern archaeology, a simulacra of remains from ancient times. But the fact is, this is perhaps the only way to preserve these unique and precious items.